happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host.
Coming up next on Talk Today, it's Open Line. Let's chat about what matters to you, what you like, what you don't like, or maybe you just have a good word to spread, huh? How about that? Talk Today, right here, next on Radio Cayman. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charles Glidden. Thanks for checking in on Talk Today. It's another beautiful afternoon in the Cayman Islands. At least on the outside. We're kind of stressed here in the studio. We're having some technical difficulties. Microphones not going on. They won't cut off. The whole board shuts down on you. Yeah, we were stressing there for a while, but our engineer, Dean, he came in and he worked some magic there and pushed a button here, reconnected this and that. And now we're back on the air. We're in our regular positions. Thought we were going to have to improvise there for a couple of minutes, but no, Dean came through. Yeah, he got us all fixed up again. Well, it's middle of July, and thankfully the hurricane season is off to a much quieter start than we had last year, eh? You remember? But this time last year we had already had flooding in June and early July. We were facing down a Cat 5 hurricane we thought was coming at us. That was Beryl. That was our first close encounter with a major hurricane for the year last year. And Beryl actually set a record being the earliest Cat 5 storm. In fact, the whole 2024 hurricane season was a record setter. It was like we were constantly under alert. Like, when is the next one coming? I'm just hoping that Sahara dust, keeps floating over the Atlantic into the Caribbean, and may not be good for air quality, but seems to keep the hurricanes away. So maybe that'll help us out. But, still 4 months to go in the season? And that's the most active part of the season. So that's still to come. So anything could happen in that time. If you remember, the storms just kept coming right down into November. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you're prepared. That's about all we can do is prepare and hope we don't have to resort to our preparations. But if you're not prepared and they come, well, could be trouble. I'd like to big up a couple of young boys that attend the I Read for Life Center. Angelo Walton and Caleb Scott, they are on the Cayman, I guess it's the under 10 football team, and they're competing in the USA Cup in Minnesota. And it's a huge football tournament. It's like 20 countries, 25 states from the U.S., over 1,100 teams participating, competing, and over 16,000 players. It's a big, big tournament, no doubt. In their first match, Angelo Walton scored the first goal of the match, I hear. His brother Caleb was protecting the goal, and Cayman played to a 2-2 draw. I think it was the Mexican under-10 team they were playing against. And just knowing those two boys and the challenges that they've overcome, it's just great to see them participating in a international tournament on the world stage, right? The USA Cup. It's the largest international youth soccer tournament in the Western Hemisphere. So they're doing good up there, representing Cayman. And I see that a young lady who was a guest right here on Talk Today when we were talking about the sports summer camps that the government has been offering throughout the summer, Jade Pitcairn. She has taken the gold medal in squash at the International Island Games in Orkney. In fact, the women's squash team did fantastic, not only winning the gold medal, but also the silver, which was won by Emma Turnbull, and the bronze medal won by, I hope I don't murder this name too badly, Michela Jans van Rensburg. So, congrats to them. Hats off. Good stuff. Yeah. And speaking of young people, in the UK, the motherland, the news is that 16-year-olds will have the right to vote in the next general election. What do you think about that, huh? Yeah, they're going to be lowering the age to 16. And looking at an analysis piece in the Guardian newspaper, which was headlined, "Lowering the Voting Age, a Boost for UK Democracy or a Shot in the Dark?" The article says the thinking behind the move promised in Labour's manifesto is that encouraging younger people to vote at an age when they are still largely in education will persuade them to make it a lifelong habit. What do you think? Should Cayman follow Mother England and allow 16-year-olds to vote? Apparently they already do in Scotland and Wales. There has been some mixed results there from what I read. In Scotland, 16, 17-year-olds are voting. But in Wales, the 16, 17-year-olds, apparently, most of them don't care. They're not really interested in voting. So what do you think? What do you think about Cayman lowering the voting age to 16? Expand Cayman's democracy or a shot in the dark, to paraphrase the Guardian headline? What do you say, huh? Give me a call. But we're going to take a break first.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Yeah, Cayman. Georgetown, West Bay. Cayman Brac. What's on your mind? It's, I found something very interesting. Why do Caymanians care more about U.S. politics than U.K. politics? I mean, I know we're, this side of the world, and we're much more under the influence, I guess, of the U.S., right? But by God, I mean, not only do Caymanians seem to be caring more about U.S. politics, but they're more passionate about U.S. politics than what's happening in the U.K. I mean, I know some people that all you have to do is bring it up, man. All you have to do is mention it, and they're off, I mean, you got your genuine Trumpers, and you got your more Democratic Party leaning people, and you would swear when you listen to them that we're living in the U.S. They got their lines drawn. If you listen to them, you would swear that they're card-carrying Republicans or Democrats or whatever. And they, a lot of them, I guess, maybe there's some that can actually vote. I don't know. There's probably some Caymanians who had attained U.S. citizenship, and maybe they actually vote. But a lot of them that I hear, they're not U.S. citizens, but they talk as if they're going to go down and vote for whoever, Trump or Kamala or Jeffries, and they are so involved. Now, if you were to say Keir Starmer to a lot of people here in Cayman, the English people would know, I'm sure. But Caymanians, if you say Keir Starmer, he made an announcement today. They would say, who? If you said J.D. Vance, they know who J.D. Vance is. I mean, we don't even know the guy's first name. All we know is J.D. But they would know who J.D. Vance. And they probably have an opinion of him, and either for or against. But you say Keir Starmer, who could be making decisions that directly affect Cayman. A lot of them are totally unaware. I find that to be, kind of strange, seeing that the Union Jack is flying right out there in front of the government administration building. But we really don't pay that much attention to what's going on in the UK. And I know I'm not sure what, like today, I don't know what the temperature is today, but I know in the past, a lot of our politicians kind of liked it better when there was a conservative government in power in the UK. They always seem to, be more relaxed with them, especially with the financial industry. I guess they always felt that labor was more of a threat that they would want to impose restrictions and so forth than the conservatives. But for the regular person, it never seems like they pay that much attention to what's happening in the UK as far as politics is concerned. And, they don't take any sides as such. But when you bring up U.S. politics, and you could have a very hot debate, and people will get upset with each other, and, they will start talking loudly. And if you get to a certain point, it can even get, kind of angry at times, especially with the kind of atmosphere that you see happening in the States right now, that Caymanians really get involved as if they were living in the States. Interestingly enough, I was involved in a discussion the other night just talking about things, and a number of people saying that they avoid traveling to the States, or they don't want to go to the States right now. They don't like the atmosphere. I know a young man who he went to Japan. Now, he chose to go through Canada to go to Japan. He didn't feel comfortable traveling through the U.S. for some reason. He just felt, I guess that ICE might come and get him. The ICE people would come and get him. But that's where we stand right now. People look at especially if you have a kind of Latin look about you, I guess. Because if you look Latin, you could be picked out of a line or something, and they want to investigate your background. But I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I guess as long as I got that UK passport, I would feel okay going in there. But I'm surprised at the number of people who say that they hesitate to go. But I'm sure there are many others who they've got to make that trip to Miami. And it's summertime, people are going on vacation, and they're still going to be heading to the States. I'm going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Hungry? Need Subway any time of the day?
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Subway at Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, and Countryside Shopping Village is open 24/7, serving up fresh, delicious subs anytime you need them. And for your weekend cravings, West Shore Center is also open 24 hours on Friday nights and until 1 a.m. on Saturdays, because it's never too late for a great meal. Skip the line and order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app, or get your favorites delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Fresh, fast, and always here when you need us. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And we have someone on the WhatsApp line, so let's check in with them. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Yeah, Mr. Glidden.
Yes.
Okay.
You're coming in much better now. I can hear you now.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you know anything about banks. Have you ever worked in a bank?
No.
Okay. I have a question. Why is it that banks give people 100% financing on brand new cars?
Yeah.
But they don't give 100% finances when someone needs to buy a piece of land. Why is that?
That is a question that has been asked for a long time.
Why I'm asking this is, if someone is able to buy a car from the borrowing money from the bank for $27,000 to buy a car.
Yeah.
Especially our young people that just coming out of school, they want a car to go to work, because when they go for the interview, they ask them if they have transportation. And our young people, being young and strong and healthy, they're quick to agree with a bank loan when it comes to a car. Not realizing
No, I think the bank would want you to already have the job, though.
Yes.
I mean, you got to show some kind of income.
Yes, of course I'm talking about after they get the job.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so why is it that the bank is willing to give 100% finances on a car, for example, $27,000, when the value of that car goes down as soon as you drive that out of the parking lot?
That's true.
and every year after that, the value of that car goes down. Right? And if you buy a piece of land for $27,000, every year the value of that piece of land goes up. So why is it that the banks are willing to lend 100% finances on a car and not a piece of land? Why is that?
That's a mystery. And do they actually still do that? Do you
Yes,
know
they
cases?
still do that.
Because I know years ago, and I mean, this question has always been around that you are asking, that it's easier to get, financing for a car than it is for a piece of land. It kind of boggles your mind, because you've actually pointed out some good facts there. A car depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot, and it keeps going down every year. I don't know. I guess I really don't know the reasoning, and it's weird.
Yes, and when it comes to our young people, Mr. Glidden, it's much better if the bank lends our young people $27,000 to buy a piece of land instead of a car, for many reasons.
But you're not gonna find a piece of land in Cayman for 27 now.
I wouldn't say that.
Really?
I wouldn't say that. But just say if the bank is willing to let you borrow that, then, because you found a piece of land for $27,000, but they still don't want to do it.
And you're not going to mash it up. It's not going to a piece of land is not going to get destroyed in a hurricane or anything like that. And it's there if they need to take it back. If you don't pay the money, the land is there.
You don't need to insure it every year.
Right.
You don't need to maintain it. You don't need to buy gas for it every week or every day. So why is it that the banks are so quick to lend our young people money for 100% financing on a car, knowing that a piece of land is better off for lending our young people money for? Why is it that they do that?
I have no answer. Maybe someone that works in a bank can give us some insight into that. What's the reasoning that the bank has as why that's easier loan to get? A loan for a car is easier than getting a property loan. Maybe someone will call and tell us.
Okay, and another thing.
Good question.
Yeah, another thing too. When it comes to CUC are still charging people to help them pay for the damage caused by Hurricane Ivan on their bills. Okay?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm not sure whether that's
Mr.
a fact
Glidden.
or not, but...
No, that's a fact. You can check it out yourself. That's a fact. Let me ask you a question now. That's been 21 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Glidden, what happens now if every year we get a hurricane, a Category 5 hurricane, once every year, and do the same damage that Ivan caused? People will never, in their whole entire life, stop paying CUC for damage caused from hurricanes. So why is it that the people, when CUC is supposed to have insurance for these kind of things, why is it that the people are still paying for damages caused by Hurricane Ivan? Why is that?
Tell me something. Is that actually itemized on the bill?
Yes, that's a fact.
No, I'm saying on the bill. Can you find that? If I look on my bill, will I be able to see that line item, that the line item that says that it's for repairing for hurricane damage?
Somewhere on those charges, it's somewhere on those charges where they say where they're talking about that. So, what if Cayman has a Category 5 hurricane every year and does the same damage as Ivan?
Yeah, I get your point.
Means then, so that means then the Caymanian people will be paying for damages caused by hurricanes that was not their fault. So why is it that the government allows CUC to charge people for damages when CUC is supposed to have these things insured? Why is that?
I think I don't know. There's something about the insurance. There's something about that type of insurance. We'll have to see if we can get that cleared up. Get an answer to that.
Yeah, but it's not the people's fault if a hurricane comes and destroys the place. So the people are not supposed to be responsible about paying for damages.
Well, yeah, they have this right, I think, in their franchise that they can recoup the cost of rebuilding their infrastructure if it's wiped out by a storm.
You see, Mr. Glidden, this is why the same reason our young people, the future for our young people is hopeless. Because of companies like the banks and CUC are allowed to do as they please. When banks are allowed to do as they please and charge a certain amount of money on mortgages, for example, people that build apartments, the bank wants to charge so much on their mortgage every month for building these apartments. Then when our young people go to rent these apartments, then they can't afford to rent them.
Yeah, you're talking about the interest rate.
Yeah, which means
which is all tied to what they're charging in the States.
Which means
I never understand that either.
Which means our young people are not going to have any money to save in order to go to the bank to buy a house. Because as they say, it's not what you make, it's what you save. So if our young people aren't able to save any money to go to the bank to buy a house because of interest rates from the banks going up on the mortgages, and if CUC is able to go up every year on their bills, which means everything else is going to go up, grocery stores, gas stations, private doctors' offices, everywhere else is going to be going up, which means the cost of living.
Yeah, well, interest rates affect everything.
Yes, but the government is responsible to see that the cost of living is at a level that people are able to afford it. That's why we hire politicians to go in there with the power that we give them to make laws that companies aren't allowed to do as they please. Thank you very much.
You have a good day, or good night to you, I guess. Do I need to take a break here? Okay, I think we have another phone call. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Charles.
How's it going?
I'm just listening. Seems to me you kind of lonesome up there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But there's something that the young man broached there. Well, it really, I think, deserves some looking into. But I think if you probably have a lot of people calling him if they think that they can find a piece of land for $27.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have to kind of search kind of hard for that one.
Yeah, but it was a good example. But before that, before you went to break, you were talking about I think the perceived or what people think about the relationship for the Cayman Islands with North America.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They get very passionate about North American politics. Not just North America, but American politics.
Yeah. Okay. But Well, Canada too, because there's a lot of connection with Canada. But
how many Caymanians can name the Canadian Prime Minister right now? Like, you got 5 seconds. Name the Canadian Prime Minister.
I know, because it's new. I know what was the one before him?
Trudeau.
Trudeau, yeah. But anyway, getting back to the relationship,
right?
That is a subject that, and even looking at the relationship between Cayman and UK, that the general public has not had much enlightening on or education on, and they may have had more, or maybe they get more education relative to the North America or U.S. politics than the UK politics. Now, I think if you look back over the years, and it's basically always been that way. I mean, my first recollection of that subject, U.S. politics and what was pursued here on Cayman, I think go back to about, I think with 1948, and that was the year that Truman was elected in the U.S.
Uh-huh.
And every radio station, or every radio, there was no radio station there, but every radio that was in the community was listening to what was going on up there with the election in the U.S.
Well, I was just thinking about that the media plays a big part in that. That we can, back in those days, it was American radio that we listened to.
Right.
Nobody listens to the BBC, right? We couldn't get it, right?
Well, it was
shortwave.
Shortwave. It was only when Radio Cayman went on there, in 1976, that you could tune to the BBC on a local frequency. But
not too many people had shortwave radios.
No. Well, radio was expensive back in those days,
yeah.
and to select a BBC shortwave frequency, you had to have what was in those days a helicopter radio, which was a Cadillac of radio receivers, and it was the Zenith Oceanic receiver, and so I think that's part of why there may be more connection, and we talk about knowing about the connection. At one time, right after the war, 1945, there was a movement in Washington to, I believe they were talking about trying to put the Cayman Islands under the U.S. jurisdiction.
Really?
Yeah, and that kind of, I think, revolved back around to the Lend-Lease.
Yes, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, the Lend-Lease and trading the territory. Okay.
Yes, because Europe owed the U.S. trillions, billions of dollars for the assistance that they rendered during the war prior.
Was that why there was an American base here through the Lend-Lease? That was part of the Lend-Lease deal, and it's. I think there really needs to be a bit more enlightenment as to why people might see these things or hear these things, and they don't know the background to it now. And I heard something. Well, listen.
Yeah.
I know you understand radio, and it's 1 o'clock.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if you want to hang on. If you want to hang on, you can come back.
I'll hang on for the next bell.
Okay, it's 1 o'clock. That's news time.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your latest headlines. The Health Services Authority opens a dedicated adolescent behavioral health inpatient wing. In a statement last night, HSA said the 3-bed self-contained unit is next to the main facility, but with its own entrance, private bathrooms, and a space just for dining and recreation. In international headlines, Israel's military confirms airstrikes targeting the Syrian military headquarters in Damascus. At least one person has been reported dead, numerous others injured. Europol reports the arrest of 2 individuals in France and Spain who are allegedly part of a major pro-Russian cybercrime network following a global crackdown on cyber threats. South Korea's president has ordered a brand new probe into the 2022 Halloween crowd crush that left 159 people dead, demanding renewed accountability from prosecutors and police. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the 5th child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott was a quiet-natured child who liked going on the bluff with his grandfather Oscar Brown, swimming every Saturday evening and playing cricket down where Miss Alame's house sits now. He was very studious at Creek Elementary School and did very well under the tutelage of his favorite teacher, Miss Isley Connolly MBE. Following the tragic death of his father at sea, at age 14 he left school to work with Arnold Foster to support his family. In 1953 he joined his first ship, the Beretta, a local cargo vessel, signing on as deck boy, working his way up to boatswain. From 1953 until 2006, some 52 years, Captain Scott made his living working off the seas.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's get back to our caller who hung on during our news break there. Hello, you're still there?
Yeah, still here.
Okay.
Anyway, we pick up the conversation where we left off there, that about this relationship between the U.S. and Cayman, or let's say the acquaintance. Let's put it that way. It goes back a long way, and I heard something on a talk show recently where there was some discussion about the sort of military unit that they've got here, what they call it?
The regiment.
Regiment. And a comment was made that until the regiment came here, Cayman had very little, I would say, it's kind of paraphrasing it, but any kind of knowledge of military.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
No, I thought to myself, well, there was a U.S. Navy base here for about 2.5 years, right down there where the
behind the library, right?
Behind the library, yeah. And in fact, it wasn't until some years back that the boats that held, because they had a little radar. They had a little radar mounted on top of the library, radar dome, and the boats were there until fairly recently. But anyway, and looking back, if you look back over Caymanians, you would find out that I think there were more Caymanians involved in the U.S. military operations than in the U.K.
Yeah, I know quite a few that served in the U.S. Military.
Yeah, well, there was a whole bunch, and during World War I, there were over some 250 to 300 Caymanian seamen that was listed. Well, they're still listed there, if you can find a copy of it, on the U.S. draft board list. That if they ever came ashore, and they could come ashore for something like 28 days, the U.S. Army was going to draft them. They're going to grab them up and send them to town.
Don't stay ashore too long.
No. Well, that was it. And the same thing was during World War II, when there was hundreds of Caymanians sailing under the U.S. Army Transport Service.
Well, like merchant marine?
Well, yeah. During wartime, I'd say most of the nation, they put their sea transport under military command.
Right. Okay.
Or quasi-military command, and they were. In fact, I think one of the Jacksons was commander of one of the smaller aircraft carriers during World War II. So it's, and the comment was made, had no I guess, familiarity or acquaintance with military until the regiment came in, and I thought to myself,
Or maybe they're just speaking in a local context.
Yeah, but not even in a local context, Charlie, because we had Home Guard here, which had
true.
200, I think, 200 Caymanians in it. And you look at what was in the Trinidad and the Royal Navy, and there were another 150, 200 Caymanians there. And then you had a naval base right in Georgetown with, I think they had about 150 sailors and a mix of military personnel. But
so we have more military background than we ever thought, as far as the modern thinking is concerned.
Yes. I mean, we recently had a Caymanian who, he's retired now from the army, but went up to I believe he went up to major. No, it wasn't major. He retired that. He went up to, colonel in the U.S. Army. And he grew up right down there of shores of North Street diving off the Cali wreck. So it's, I think there needs to be some kind of educational process to really put, Cayman Islands history, the total 9 yards in focus.
Well, maybe you better start writing. Put these things on paper.
Let me finish my sentence. Okay.
Well, listen, I got another caller waiting.
Oh, okay.
But
okay,
before you go, and I hope you don't mind me identifying you, Loxley Banks. Congratulations on your a member of the most excellent order of the British Empire.
Yes, that is the award that I received.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, but just let me finish that sentence that I was saying, and now I forgot what I was saying. No, I didn't. But there needs to be more enlightenment on Caymanian history, the whole 9 yards, than there is, because people come. How many people come across our shores? They never know anything about Cayman, and they come here, and the Caymanian culture is getting buried in all of it. So there needs to be a vast educational process immediately put forward to accommodate this. I'll let you go.
All right. Thanks for the call. We have someone else on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Top Today.
Good afternoon, Chalo.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, and you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. Yeah, Dr. Banks. He's a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah. Caymanian history in motion.
Yes, sir. A few callers ago, asking about where the banks would finance a brand new car on a piece of land.
Yeah.
Did Emma answer that question?
No, and I know it's one that's been asked for a long time.
But I would think it's a fairly simple answer.
What's that?
If the bank finance a brand new car, it has to be fully insured.
Right.
Anything happens to it, they recoup their money just like that. If they finance a piece of land 100%, and something happens, and they have to repossess it, or there's some natural disaster that the value of the land goes down, and they have to again try and sell it.
But the car is depreciating also, right?
Yes, but as long as you got that full comprehensive insurance.
But isn't that adjusted down every year?
At least.
I mean, you should, because they say they're going to pay the market value.
Yeah, that's how to do with buildings too, yeah. Underinsured.
That's another subject.
Yeah. A couple of centuries ago, when I had a car fully insured, I think once I was prepared to pay the premium, whether it was on the original value or the current value. But I'm sure that is the reason they can recoup their money via the insurance.
But I mean, if they give you a 5-year loan on a car.
Sorry?
If they give you a 5-year loan on the car.
Yeah.
I mean, by year 3, the insurance isn't going to pay the same thing that it would pay if it got wrecked, 3 months after you bought it.
Wait now. You said year 3 and 3 months.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
No, I said if the value of the car in year 3, which is what the insurance would base what they're going to pay, would not be as much as what it would be if you had wrecked the car 3 months after buying it.
Right, so let's go on that line. If 3 months after you buy it, you wreck it.
Right.
So it's going to
pretty much you get the full value of that insurance, whatever you insured it for, right?
Right. In 3 years, if it wrecks whatever, you would have sort of lost 3 years of value.
But you've been paying the loan down, okay?
Correct. So the loan should be less as well. But so the bank will still recoup what you owe them.
Okay.
That way, their investment, the return on their investment is guaranteed. If it's 5 years, at the end of the 5 years.
So in the end, they just don't see as much risk in the car as they do in a piece of land.
It's business. It's business. I mean, persons going to business with only one thing in mind, and that is to make money. I mean, where else would you go in business?
That is the objective.
Right.
And the bank seems that they're going to make as much as they possibly can.
And unless the jurisdiction in which they are operating, if they allow them to do that, money has no conscience.
And, you know, the thing about the interest rates also. So, you know, I know I've asked and I've heard other people ask it, well, you know, what is the rate in the States? Why is that telling Cayman what they must charge? Can't the bank in Cayman charge a different rate? And I remember years ago in a conversation, I posed that question, and it was this young Caymanian just back from school, and I said, well, what they're charging in New York, why is that, you know, affecting us? And he said, Mr. Charles, what they're charging in the States, that affects the whole world.
Yes,
it's not just in the U.S. what the Fed is charging. What they set up there, that's affecting what's being charged in the whole world.
Right now, I am by no means an economist or a banker, so I couldn't go into all the nuances of that. But I think it has something to do with borrowing the money, mostly coming from the U.S. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but I think in one of my economic classes that was discussed. So, yeah. But
the money's all connected, right?
Yep.
It's all connected. It's like he said, what they set the rate in New York, or the Fed, it affects the whole world. It's all connected.
It's all connected. But I know at one time one of our sister UK overseas territories, they actually mandated what the banks could charge. They mandated. So if the US is charging 2% or whatever, you can only charge X% more than that. And as a result, the bank rates in that territory was considerably less than what we were paying for comparable loans here in our islands.
And the banks at it. I mean, they just went along with it. Nobody was fleeing.
Nope. Because I mean, it's still 2% on 100 million. That's not a bad return.
No, and you know, that's something that I've heard too. People say, you know, we're always afraid that the banks are going to run away if we do something. We're always like, oh, they're going to run away and leave us.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, would they really?
I don't know. I have, again, several decades ago, I heard a prominent developer here on the island say that if a particular politician did not get back in power, he was going to pack up and go elsewhere. not only did he stay, he continues to invest more and more and more. So there are some of those threats. Some people go follow through on them. I would say by and large, the vast majority do not. Now, I mean, in some instances, we can take some of our neighboring countries. A lot of political decisions have forced or made a lot of their citizens choose other jurisdictions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it can happen, but not every time the threat is made, that is a follow-through. I just want to mention that about the banks and for 100% financing brand new vehicles versus piece of property. And I think the caller had some other
CUC. Yeah, we're still paying for Ivan.
Okay. Shallow, I can't say I have noticed that on my bill. Unless it's hidden there in some of their technical language.
Well, I usually just look at how much I owe. That's. I don't really, what's the sense of trying to analyze it? That's how much they want from you.
Yeah. And if you don't pay,
you know what happens.
Right. It was something that you were talking about in your monologue there about the U.S. Who the president is, you know who the vice president is, but you don't know who the prime minister
of the UK.
The UK, which is so damn true. But shallow, and you say, okay, the media has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. But look at that building right across from where you are, that government building.
Uh-huh.
You go in there, and what news do you see on that television?
CNN, Fox, one of them.
CNN. We are a British overseas territory, but you don't see any BBC News. Now, if government is pushing that from the top, from the administration building, then they're supposed to be the leaders, be the followers.
So it just trickles right down, right?
Trickles right down. I've said it about Radio Cayman as well. A lot of their news centers on what happens in the U.S. And we've got a number of things that's happening here in the Caribbean, August in the Caribbean, Latin America, Europe, UK, that very, very seldom is mentioned. But a lot of our news coming through Radio Cayman is what you could pick up on any of the TV stations or any of the radio stations in the U.S. So if we want to get a little closer to the UK, I would say government could start by showing a lot more BBC.
Turn the TV channel.
Turn the TV channel. That's elementary. I mean, you don't need a doctor degree.
Elementary, my friend.
Yep. Shallow. On that note, sir, I wish you and all Caymanians and residents a happy and safe day.
And the same to you.
Okay, sir.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man. Bye for now.
We have another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon. You do have another caller.
How you doing?
Yes. Pretty good. Got open line today or what?
Yeah. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind? This morning I went down to Hurley's, and then driving back out of the parking lot, there was this van parked up selling lunch food out of the van.
Uh-huh.
Now, I am not saying anything is wrong with it, but we, the people of this island, we should know when someone has a license to do this thing from when they're not, and they should have some sort of business on the van.
Yeah, display the license.
Display the license, and there's the what do we call that now? Food delivery service on the road that has the food in their these pans. I was good enough to see that they had something made up and had them sitting in it. With the dust and everything that's going around, I don't know how much of that the environmental health is looking into. Because, Charlotte, let me tell you something. We are picking up germs and disease in every corner. From day one, that is like we're getting more disease coming out, breaking out here and there. And some people don't look at it as it's a disease. They don't feel good, and they want to stay home today because they don't feel good, but yet they don't go try the doctor, find out they have some sort of virus or, that kind of way. They just, I'll just lay down home today and cool out. And after 3 days laying down off of work, then they decide I want to go to the doctor. And then those in the office is got to pick up all this weight while they're out if they have to pick it up. But the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to say is these little vans and car trunks that I see running around here selling food, we the people needs to know how safe they are and where are their license display on their window and a name of their business that they are selling food out there. So we will not feel uncomfortable when we see it, or we can say we'll try them when we see them park up somewhere, go and see what they're serving or whatever. But how safe are they? We don't know, because there's a lot of stuff going on here on license, and everybody's trying to make a dollar, and some of them just don't care how to make the dollar. They just want to sell what they got to make that money, because money is needed. You understand? Some people not making sufficient money.
They're going to hustle
pay
it.
the bills. Mm-hmm.
I said they're just going to hustle.
They got to hustle one way or the other. And we have a lot of hustling going on here in Cayman. And I don't know if that's all good and well, or let me tell you, as a taxi driver, our vehicle has to be inspected 3 times. One with the port, one with license department, and one with public transport. Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got so many cars up on the road that are not even licensed and not even inspected.
Well, when it comes to food, I am pretty sure that if you're going to sell food, you have to have a license from, I think it's the Department of, is it Environmental Health?
I think it's environmental health. They got to go to school.
And you have to attend classes about keeping that food safe.
At a certain temperature, and we don't know that. This is what I'm saying, that the license should be displayed so we don't feel uncomfortable and say that someone's out here doing something illegal. We want everybody to make an honest dollar, but be real with it. You know what I mean? And especially food. If food is not at the right temperature, you can get sick.
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you something. I'm up to by the sports doctor where they used to have a lot of sugar cane and different fruits up there, local fruit selling. And let me tell you something. I was one that would stop by there practically every evening and get sugar cane and various other things from them, right? They're not even there no more now. And one day my teeth started to hurt me. And what happened? I pick up abscess in my teeth. I have never had it in my life. It came from street side road eating, and I stopped that. When I know what I went through with that teeth from eating on the road, on these side roads where all the dust is flying and no proper water using and no gloves using and everything just exposed.
And
kind of way.
How long ago did they prepare the food that they are now serving?
How long has been prepared, and how much heat it still has under it when they're out here moving around from from construction to construction. And then this guy had the nerves to be in Hurley parking lot selling his food in his trunk. That is so rude. They should be able to just go to the construction job or you want to come to your house? Well, they can come to your house. But they shouldn't be going to people's property like that to sell their food. But, we got all kind today, and, we got very few laws, and every law that we asked for, they say, oh, we don't need that, we got good people here, and everybody got to survive, and why all is being so much about to be with people and this and that. It is the security and the safetyness of our bodies. You understand?
No, public health is very important, and,
very much.
People selling food... you have to be careful.
Very, very careful. But anyhow, you take care and thanks.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Good.
Let me read a WhatsApp here. And this is going back to about the American influence. She says, one thing the Americans have over other cultures is marketing strategies. I believe why many here get so immersed in U.S. politics is because they've done a good job at marketing, quote unquote, for a lack of better word. The UK does not have those skills. Their news and delivery is usually pretty sterile. Hence why American politics, I believe, is so attractive because it's so vibrant. LOL. Yeah, certainly a lot of noise around the U.S. politics. A lot of noise. The campaigns are long. I think UK they could do an election campaign in like 4 weeks, something like that. They don't go months and months dragging the campaign out. And as has been mentioned, media has so much to do with that. But interesting that over in the admin building over there, it's CNN that's playing on the TV and not BBC. You would think, with the Union Jack flying outside, we'd be getting news from London. And what's happening across the UK and across the world. I don't know. I tune into BBC a lot. I find it to be, rather straightforward. Not a lot of noise around it. Just the facts there. And if you tune into, especially in the evening, to U.S. news, gosh, it's hard to tell what is news and what is opinion. It kind of gets mixed into each other, opinion and fact. Break time? It's break time.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Witness the elegance of the Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2025 contestants as they embark on a captivating motorcade through our beautiful island. On July 19th, the motorcade will start at 9 a.m. at the Georgetown Public Library, then on to West Bay, followed by stops at 7 Mile Beach, Cayman Turtle Center, Bodden Town, and North Side. Come together as a community to uplift and cheer for these remarkable young women. Don't miss the chance to be a part of the magic. Mark your calendars for July 19th and come out to show your love and encouragement. Let's make this motorcade a day they will never forget.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. And we have a WhatsApp caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hi, doing good. I wanted to say, with America, America is right up the road from the Cayman Islands, and they are one of the most impressionable nations in the world, and considering themselves as the super nation of the world in any case. So, excuse me, it's easy to understand why, the Cayman Islands are so impressioned by the U.S. I was listening to you repeating after the last caller, and just wanted to offer that. I was chuckling to myself when I heard you and the young man there from West Bay, discussing the difference in loans between the cars and the land.
Yeah.
It wasn't an amusing topic, but in the exchange, it was a bit amusing to me. And I wanted to offer just a layman's reasoning why I think that, most financial institutions may offer for cars quicker than land, because I think because land is not that easy to repossess. The laws are maybe different, and the policies and procedures, and the banks may be different in terms of repossession of vehicles compared to property, if and when it may come down to that. So that could be, one reason, and it'd likely be easier to repossess a vehicle and resell it, as opposed to having to
send somebody to pick it up, right?
Yeah, that sort of thing. As opposed to I have to get, more legal involvement when it comes to trying to repossess properties, and I'm sure there's different stages the bank have to go through in order to do that. So that was just one of the things I was thinking about, and I do believe it's rare, but I do believe I've heard over the years of some banks at seasonal times offering, if not 100%, maybe up to 95%, which is pretty good. But that question has always dawned on me also. Why lend for cars that depreciate the minute you drive them off compared to lend?
Well, the insurance thing makes some sense too, because
yes,
they can always, in the case that it gets wrecked or it's destroyed by a hurricane or something, the insurance will pay it off.
Repay. Yeah.
But in the case in the case that you are defaulting on your payments, well, like you say, it's easy to repossess a car.
Right. Yes. And I always talk about America when I'm trying to offer suggestions to Cayman because I was in America for a number of years and I never really lived anywhere else. So, and in terms of when they give loans for property like house and land and stuff like that, I know they do it in Cayman too. You have to have insurance in the event that you may pass away or something like that. But that's life insurance. There's no, and not that I'm aware, but it's done in the States that you also have to take out insurance. For example, if you lose your job or if you can't pay the mortgage and that sort of thing. So, but anyway, that was just my 2 cents contributing to that. I was listening to the last caller talk about, the food and that sort of thing, people selling food and so forth. And it was reminding me of being in North Carolina, where it's, I know in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, it's mandatory. I do believe it's the entire state also. It's mandatory to have ratings for establishments that sell food. And those ratings are publicly displayed. They have to be displayed where the public can see those ratings, the same as if you have your business license, which have to be displayed for the public to see.
Yeah.
So it's different to police people that are selling foods out of their cars or that sort of thing. That's an entirely different thing. But
yeah, they can just pop up anywhere.
Right, and then they do. Trust me, there's a lot of them doing that. But in terms of sanitation, I wanted to offer that. That's something our islands might want to consider doing too.
Well, I know if you're selling food, you have to go through some training. I know about that. Yes. I don't know about displaying the permit, but you have to go through some training about how to keep food from spoiling. And other sanitation.
Sorry?
Yeah. I say you have to go through some training as to how to keep food. You prepare it and then you bring it up, but you got to be able to keep that food from turning bad, and also other sanitation, issues that you have to know how to deal with.
Right. Yes, I'm aware of that. Yes. And the other thing I wanted to suggest, I wanted to suggest this to the government publicly, that we should have some how's my driving stickers on the public transport vehicles, whether that's taxis or the buses or whatever. It's not enough just to have bus numbers, and most people, from what I've heard, do not know how to contact, even though we have a little building there at the bus depot in town, where one can go and file a complaint. But I think it would be good also for the department, the ministry, to try and implement a how's my driving mandatory sticker display on these vehicles, so people can readily WhatsApp, text, and it could be a cell number, could readily WhatsApp, text, or whatever, call a quick cell phone number and report certain behaviors of public transport vehicles. And that is something I think is really, really needed, because we see a lot of I don't even want to use the word reckless, but I'll use it. Reckless driving with some of the taxis and the buses, we know for sure, because that's always a constant concern with the public. And the last thing I want to touch on is I heard our honorable deputy governor, acting governor, he still is, speaking on another platform this week about protecting certain, I believe it was said, protecting certain occupations or positions within the civil service for Caymanians only. And I think that needs to be extended to the private sector also, in terms of certain occupations. And I don't want to think just in, because we have different classifications and categories of positions and occupations in the private sector. I am thinking about all across the board, but more so occupations and positions, jobs that the average Caymanian may not be able to otherwise get into a job. So in terms and I know this was discussed some years ago, that certain positions in construction would only be held by Caymanians, like entry-level positions, right?
Yeah, and I think this is being discussed again.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. And other jobs like landscaping and gas station attendants. So those jobs could be held by aspiring entrepreneurs or retirees, that have retired and really just sitting at home doing nothing. I really believe that we have the resources in our people to fill as much of the jobs as our government wants to be filled. I just think everything needs to be restructured so businesses will realize that they have to offer these jobs. I think of our prisoners that are released from prison. I know they have I know they have a work release program, or they used to have it. I'm not sure if it's still in place for prisoners, but I think it needs to be embedded in the law in such a way that some of these prisoners can be given a second chance. I know the DG's office have the second chance program that doesn't entirely, as far as I can remember, cover something like this, but that it can all be encompassed, because there's a lot of prisoners that are able to come out and get into jobs, but businesses don't want to hire them because they have a police record, and I think that there's a benefit in having those people that we can pull from that pool of people in order to fill jobs, which will cut back on work permits and so forth. And not everybody, this thing about everybody have to go to college and everybody has to have a college education, or it doesn't take, if some people didn't finish high school, it doesn't take a high school graduate. Yes, I applaud the minister. He wants the very best for our people. I hear him talking all the time. I know he wants every Caymanian to achieve the best that they can achieve. But that is not always feasible. It's not always possible, because some people are not capable of certain things. And I'm not saying it in a negative way. Not everybody was meant to go through school and finish school, because some people just can't function that way. But they can get out there and pump gas. They can get out and operate landscaping equipment if they had the opportunity to be able to submit an application to the DCI office and get a small business license for up to 4 people, and so we have to think across the board of how we can implement everything to help our people, because I believe we have the pool of people, may not be completely to fill all positions, but as best as we can. We have a lot of young ladies out there who would like to get into the legal secretary and paralegal positions that are being filled, overflowed by people that are being imported into the island. This is not to disrespect any businesses or anything like that, but we have a lot of young people who wants to get into that field, and they're being told they don't have the experience, they don't have the qualifications, and there's no program on island besides the Cayman Islands Law School that offers a paralegal and legal secretary program like they used to do many years ago. There's just so much, that we need to really think. I know the Minister Miles is really working overtime, and they're serious about what they're going to do. But I just wanted to throw a few things out there,
Okay, well, thank you.
As I usually, yes.
I'm gonna have to break in on you, because I need to take a commercial break before it gets too close to the top of the hour. Okay.
I expect that. Alrighty, thank you.
All right, you take care. Have a good afternoon.
Get ready for something sweet, spicy, and totally crave-worthy. The hot honey chicken sandwich is here, and it's bringing the heat. We've taken our tender, juicy chicken and drenched it in bold hot honey sauce for the perfect balance of sweetness and spice. But hurry, this one's only here for a limited time. Hot honey chicken. Try it today before it's gone. Subway. Eat fresh. Looking for ways to save energy and learn more about sustainable living? Visit empoweringcayman.com. Explore inspiring stories about our history, practical tips, and the latest updates on how COC is prioritizing affordability for customers. Be a part of the change today.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Well, we have a caller on the line, so let's find out just what is on their mind. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Shallow. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Just fine, sir. Been listening here to a few callers, and just referring really quickly to cover everything. Harry Truman, president then, as Mr. Lockley was talking about, who would become president on the death of President Roosevelt in his fourth term, unprecedented, and re-elected then in 48, I think it was. The Harry S, the S really stood for, it was not an abbreviation, that was his name, Harry S. Truman. Also, another little thing that many people might not know, or maybe they know, was that if he hadn't been selected as vice president by Roosevelt, in the 30s, the early 30s, he would have had to declare bankruptcy. He was a very poor businessman, The other thing about the history of our people and so forth, I'm very disappointed in what we have done over the years. We have done quite a bit, I'm glad about that, but nowhere near enough. It's not that we haven't been able to get information. It has been offered to us. I know this will offend many people and they'll be up in arms, but I'll say it and say it again. I have offered information to many here, very valuable information of Caymanians' history. And no one has bothered. They have my phone number because one of the past governors, Mr. Roper, could call me personally on my telephone. So I'm sure they have my phone number. It's no secret. Information that's very valuable about us Caymanians, particularly my father and others. But they've chosen not to contact me, not to do so. I say it now without any fear on the radio. They have chosen not. So it's not that we don't have the information available, it's that we don't want to hear it. Good. Say no more about that. There are three types of people in this world. There's the optimist, there's a pessimist, and there's a realist. The optimist, of course, looks at the glass and says it's half full. The pessimist says it's half empty. The realist knows if he sticks around, he'll have to wash the glass. So he leaves. I'm a realist. It's great what this young lady was saying, but I'm afraid she's 100% optimist. That's a utopian world. It will not happen. They will say they will do these things, and that's said, and it's great political fodder to say, I'm going to do this, and I'll get it done, and so forth. You know, it's...
you tell people what they want to hear, right?
Yes, you tell people what they want to hear. Not necessarily what they really need to hear. With the bank issue with the cars, that has been a thing for many, many years. And there's lots of things, as you said, it's complex. It's about interest rates and all kinds of things, and the repossession times. And what we have to appreciate and understand and come to grips with, the banks here are interested in lending big loans to big people where they can make thousands of dollars a month in interest. Some people on big loans for properties and stuff are paying $50,000-$60,000 a month just in interest, and maybe more than that somewhere. But this is the thing, because loans, they collect the interest first on it for several years. If it's a long range loan, 10, 15 years, whatever, 20, 30, and then they start with the capital, or the borrowed. The thing is, they can sell that loan, so they have lost nothing. And then the persons who have bought the loan, which they do in the United States, as we know, your loan is sold many times. Your mortgage is many, many times over a 5, 6, 7 year period. That's what they do. And the banking thing is a complex thing. They make a lot of money. They may lie. They may say they're not making money. Why are they here and so forth? Because they see the business that can be done and not pay corporate taxes and so forth that they have to pay in other countries. And there's a lot of money here. There's a lot of money here. The thing with the U.S., they're the standard bearers, right? When you hear foreign exchange rates being compared and being read out on your radio or on your TV or whatever, it's comparing it to the U.S. dollar, whether it's German rate, the British rate, the Australian rate, the Norwegian rate, the Swiss rate, Russian rate, Italian rate, Chinese, Japanese.
And the dollar's been falling.
Yes, but it's all compared to the dollar. That's what they're comparing it to. They're not comparing it to British pound or the this, the that, the that. No, they're not. They're comparing it to the dollar. So the dollar is the most important by far money in the world. And it's all the money you spend anywhere. Anywhere you go with it, everybody wants it. You know that. You try to spend a British pound here and see where you end up. You can't. You can't do it. I mean, you're British.
No, it is. It is the international currency. I mean.
Yeah, you've got to take it to a bank. They look at it and wonder where the hell this thing came from. But anyhow,
well, I went to buy some pounds once, and the guy said, "Let me see what we got." And I said, "What?
Yes.
You might not have pounds."
No, it might not. No, it might not. I went to a Canadian bank to buy Canadian dollars. They didn't have any. They didn't have any. So this is the thing. We've got to understand what it's all about. It's all a game, they play. And after many years, you learn and understand that we're just pawns in that game here. The powerful private sector calls the shots. I've said this and put my neck on the chopping block for saying it. But if anyone hasn't realized this, and we have the most educated populace by far now that Cayman has ever had. and the most educated electors and the most educated people who have been elected. If you look at the standard of education for them, say 50 years ago, or legislative assembly members or parliament, whatever, it's higher now. But if we're talking about simple common sense, that's a whole different ballgame.
Common sense is not so common, and I have to break in on you because it's past 2:00 and that's news time. Thanks for calling, though.
Yes, thank you. Take care. Bye.
Let's go to the newsroom.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
The Intellectual Property Office has improved its online chorus system, allowing licensed agents to access more details on trademarks, patents, and design rights. Only registered agents are authorized to handle IP filings in Cayman. The Premier says these upgrades will streamline the process and benefit local businesses with additional legal reforms and a public consultation on trademark laws planned for later this summer. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, 8 babies have been born in the UK using genetic material from 3 people to prevent devastating and often fatal conditions, doctors say. The method, pioneered by UK scientists, combined the egg and sperm from a mom and dad with a second egg from a donor woman. The technique has been legal in the UK for a decade, but they now have the first proof it is leading to children born free of incurable mitochondrial disease. These conditions are normally passed from mother to child, starving the body of energy. And Epstein was charged by federal prosecutors for sex trafficking of minors and other crimes in 2019. He died by suicide in jail later that year, sparking continued rumors and conspiracies about his death and, most recently, about possible clients named in government files. Yet, according to the president and his top law enforcement officials, the documents may not be forthcoming and some may not exist at all. That concession has thrown Trump's Make America Great Again movement into chaos, with even staunch supporters calling for the removal of Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, and his deputy Dan Bongino. The fact that several of these officials previously called for the government to release allegedly hidden Epstein files has led to accusations of broken promises from within MAGA. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just the delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
This summer, choose from 10 international destinations for your vacation with Cayman Airways. Explore New York, discover Denver, roam Los Angeles, play in Tampa, shop in Miami, tour Panama, uncover Havana, hike in La Ceiba, jam in Kingston, or relax in Montego Bay. Connecting flights are also available from the sister islands. Cayman Airways offers more international non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline, and the lowest rates for checked bags. Book today at CaymanAirways.com, download our new mobile app, or call Cayman Airways reservations on 949-2311. Come fly with us and relax with your uniquely Caymanian airline.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Yes, the Gremlins are still in the studio. Listen, okay, I got a WhatsApp here message here. Someone sent me USA versus UK relations. Apparently, FDR said to Churchill during World War II, "You may own the West Indies, but they are in our backyard and we dictate policy." I guess that's what the Americans had something called the Monroe Doctrine. I guess that's what that was like. The Monroe Doctrine was like, listen, anything under the U.S. continental shelf there, that's our territory. Don't think you can just come in here and do anything. We'll decide what happens down in the Caribbean and Latin America. We have a caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I heard you speaking about health issues.
You mean with the food trucks, food vendors?
I heard you speaking concerning medication. Good for one thing and bad for the next.
Today? We talked about that?
I don't think it was today.
Okay.
But before. And studies have shown that being overweight is worse than smoking cigarettes. And studies have also shown that sitting too often is bad for your health.
Yeah, it's sedentary. You just when you sit
Yeah,
in the
so-
office for 8 hours, right?
Yeah, so if I am overweight and my work that I do, I sit for 7 hours a day. That is very serious when it comes to my health. So I would suggest to employers and those who are working in offices that have to sit by their desks during the day, working on computers or whatever, I would suggest that employers set up desks for their employees that for at least the first 4 hours of the day, they're able to stand up.
Well, they have those desks now, and it's all toward what you're saying. You can bring the desk up and you stand at the desk and work instead of sitting.
Yes, that's what people have to do because if being overweight is worse than smoking cigarettes, that's serious. And if sitting too often is bad for your health, that is serious also.
Yeah, probably good to get up and just go for a walk, even if you just walk around the office.
Well, I would try to be standing at least for the first 4 hours of the day while I have more strength in my body from after resting overnight. That's what I would do.
That's a long time to stand, though. I get your point, but it's a long time to stand.
Yes, but when it comes to your health, it's worth it. I've seen security officers stand for 7 hours every day.
Yeah.
And that's myself as a security officer. When it comes to stress, depression, and anxiety, they say that those are 3 factors that can lead to suicidal thoughts. When it comes to the cost of living, and when it comes to stress, depression, and anxiety, our young people are wiser than we are, but they're weaker, which means they're not able to handle the stress the way that we are able to handle it. And when they see their own parents being stressed, it stresses them more. It makes them feel more stressed than what their parents are. And from what I hear you all speaking concerning the cost of living, the way that you all speak, and the economists that came on this radio, it seems as though there's nothing the government can do for the cost of living.
Very little, especially. So, it's a rather complex thing.
Okay, but there is something they can do. They have the power to do it, and that's a fact. So if the government aren't able to help us with the cost of living, especially our young people, in securing their future and their health, if the government are not able to help them, but during election time, they're all able to fix this cost of living situation. They're all able to. Election time.
Well, you heard what one of the callers said, right? The politicians tend to tell people what they want to hear.
Yeah, so if what I'm hearing is that there's nothing the politicians can actually do about the cost of living, then politicians are just practically useless. Thank you very much.
Let me ask you something, though. Did you hear some of the suggested answers to your question that when you called earlier about easier to get a car loan than a land loan? Did you hear some of the answers?
Yes, I heard some.
So did you buy into that about the insurance and the easier to repossess, etc.?
Well, I don't find it a good enough excuse not to help our young people to get a piece of land instead of a vehicle. Because remember, I heard you all talking about insurance, but remember this now, You see, like what happened in Ivan, when a lot of cars were flooded because of the sea surge and the rain. Majority of those people did not get insurance for those cars.
Why they just had the third party?
Because they did not have flood insurance.
They didn't have the comprehensive.
Yes, it has to be flood insurance on your car. It has to be flood insurance or they will not fix your car.
Well, if you have comprehensive, I'm pretty sure it's covered.
Okay.
But then you just got the third party thing where if you hit someone else.
Make sure it includes flooding of the vehicle. So.
Well, the bank is going to require you, if you buy a new car and you get a bank loan, the bank is going to require you to get comprehensive insurance on that.
So if our young people are able to qualify for 100% financing on a car, why not allow them 100% financing on a $35,000 piece of land, and then at the same time provide them with the finances that they're able to build a one-bedroom concrete home on that piece of land for starters, and then charge them a certain amount of money for the mortgage every month that they're able to afford, that they don't have to go and pay rent for a one-bedroom for $1,800 a month. Why is it that the banks aren't working with our young people that way?
At the end of the day, my friend, it's all about business. They're not here to help us. They're here to do business with us.
Yes, I know that. And I'll get to that.
But listen, I'm coming down to the end of the line, and I got 2 callers waiting. So I want to try and get them in before I run out of time, okay? Good talking to you. Let's take another call. Hello, you're on the air. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Hi, how you doing?
All right, and you?
All right, I'm good. I'm going to make this really quick and sweet. The reason why, like you said, the banks are here to make money. So they could make money on a short-term gain than what they could make on a long-term run, right? So when they're doing on a short-term gain, when they're going to give you a car loan for $70,000 to $80,000, remember the interest rate by the time you pay off that car loan within the 5 years, you're already almost paid double on the interest. Because if you look at the interest rate compared to the principal, if you look at what your loan is, for example, you're getting a car for $70,000, you're paying $700. Only $150 or $180 of that is going towards the principal and not the interest. So when you get a personal loan, when you get a loan for a house, you're gonna actually get dividends on your house value, or your land value goes up in interest rates every year, or actually goes up on value every year, where your car depreciates. As soon as your car drive off that lot, that car depreciates at least about 6%. Okay? So that's the only value your car has. So it's a quick fix for them to give you a loan for a car for $70,000, 100%, right? So they're not going to give it to you for a piece of property, because with a property, it will increase in value. Now, a lot of people don't understand that when you get property, yes, you have to get a car, insurance, but also what I tell a lot of people, what happened to me is that I got what they call ill health insurance, meaning that if you get ill for any reason, either get diagnosed with prostate or anything like that, you have to do a major surgery. Before you get cut, you tell them what you were diagnosed with, and they automatically, depending on what bank you're dealing with, that insurance will kick in and pay off your mortgage. So just in case you fall behind. So that's one of the things that the bank will not tell you. And that's one of the things that I read between the fine line is that they won't do that. Now, there's a next thing before I leave is that when I went to purchase my home 13 years ago, I went to the bank and they turned me down saying that, what was the word? That we were not making financial viable income to pay the mortgage. And I looked at the loan officer and I said, do you realize that we're paying $1,500 a month rent? I said, first of all, I said, how much is the loan? How much is the loan would be if we was to get a house for $198,000? They said, well, the loan would be $750 with a fixed rate. With a car, it's not going to be a fixed rate. And like the gentleman once said, during Hurricane Ivan, people had fully comprehensive insurance, and this is something I know, had fully comprehensive, and a lot of the insurance went belly up because they could not pay out the people, and they ran, right? But when I asked the lady how much was going to be my mortgage, she said it was going to be like $700 plus per month. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm paying $1,585 for I think it was like $1,600 rent for a house, and I've been paying that for the last 5 years. So tell me how I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And eventually, with the paperwork, we got the property, and we almost 13 years later, we almost paid off the property.
Good for you.
Because we did a fixed rate, and then we went back. We make 2 mortgage payments every month. So what I would do is I would make the regular normal mortgage payment, and then at the just 15th of every month, I'll
put
make
that into
towards a principal, and that would make it look like you actually made 2 on-time payments.
All right,
so
but you're good to get a fixed rate.
Well, we got the fixed rate during COVID, because remember when the banks were scared of people losing their houses?
Yeah,
we went and we negotiated. Remember, the banks are there. If you sit there and let the bank take advantage, you can make your own. You can negotiate your own plans. So you could go into the bank and ask for a fixed rate and one the banks will hate when they hear that you're going to go to another bank to pay off their debt. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are doing now. They will say, well, okay, we're going to compete against each other. Like you go into a car dealership and say, listen, I could get this car at a better deal. The car dealership is going to go, okay, we're not going to lose that money. We'd rather lose $1,000 than lose $40,000 or $50,000. So if you go to the bank, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, what you're saying is that if you can go into a bank and say, well, I can get a lower interest rate over at this other bank here.
Right. So
you got some leverage.
Right. So you go to say for example, you go to the credit union and say, listen, I want to move from XYB bank and move over to you. What can you give me as a deal? This is what the interest rate they're giving me. And they will say, well, okay, we could give you this. You go back on paper and go to your bank loan officer and say, listen, how much will it be? What would it take for me to pay you guys off? And the first thing they're going to go, what? What are you talking about, pay us off? I'm going to move banks. They're going to go, hold up. Next thing they're going to bring you in. They're going to get you coffee. They're going to get you water. They're going to get you whatever you want. Rub your feet.
Buy your lunch,
massage, too. And then say, okay, we'll work with that. Let's work with what you have. And then you say, as a person, because it is your money. Right? So listen, I want to do a 5-year fix. Because these people are willing to do a 5-year fix. If not, then you just go over to the other party. And they do not want to lose $200,000 because to you might be paying off $190,000. For them, they're losing over $300,000.
Yeah, with that interest.
Yes. So I will leave it at that because I know you have other people calling, and it's a good topic. But I think that what other people should say is that they need to start negotiating, because a lot of people, other people, negotiate their own terms when they want to. We as locals just sit there and take whatever terms they're given and make it a thing that, okay, they're giving us sliced bread with a little bit of toast and butter on it, so we should be happy. No.
Good advice. Thanks for calling.
All right, not a problem.
All right, let's take what's probably our last call. Oh, okay. They couldn't wait. They had to go. But that's it. I've been hearing what that last gentleman was saying more and more now. That, just don't go in and say, well, I want to make a loan, and they tell you, well, this is the deal here, blah, 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 and you take it. You can negotiate. And that's something I've been hearing more and more of in these days. So that's a great improvement. I don't know if it was that easy, back in the day to really negotiate, and even the term that they would give you, sometimes you couldn't even get 20 years on a house. They want to give you 15. So if you can actually play the banks, go and shop, just like you would shop for anything, and see what this one is offering, and then go to the next one and say, oh, well, this one over here is giving me a better deal. You can probably work something out that is to your advantage. So just don't take the first offer that you get from a bank. Negotiate with them. And I was just looking through the compass here, and they have a story, Cayman independence not on the agenda despite UN efforts. The UN Special Committee on Decolonization, that's also known as C24, they've once again published their draft resolution calling for independence for the UK overseas territories, of which, of course, we are one. So they're saying that we should be seeking independence. But I don't think that's something that's going to fly very high here in Cayman. A lot of people look around the region and point to what has happened in other places that have gone independent, and right away, any suggestion that Cayman goes independent, you draw the brakes on it. But I guess there's some people and that would say Cayman should be working toward independence. I see in this article here, Roy Bawden, the former president of University College of the Cayman Islands, who the paper identifies as being pro-independence, but he says he knows that you just can't go forward, that we would not be ready for it at this time in any instance, even if we wanted to. And he was saying that a lot of younger people would be more inclined to seek out a path to independence. But that is a big, big step forward, and I don't see that happening anytime in the near future. He was advocating certain education and so forth. But I guess that's a debate that we could have at some point. But it never has flown. That idea of independence has never flown in Cayman, and I doubt that it has changed very little as of 2025. Well, that's it for Talk Today. I want to thank everyone for calling in. Had some interesting points this afternoon. Covered quite a few subjects. Thanks for joining me and making me a part of your afternoon. Have a great rest of the day. I'm Charles Glidden.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.